The Yeti, the flame that consumes the gods. O daughter of mine, that flame which fuels greed must be extinguished. Only then will the long-lost paradise of dragons return.
Hello. Hi, my name is Meerah. I am a Lorekeeper in one of Yog-Sothoth's libraries, and today I'm going to tell you the story about Drakania and Markthanan, two of the dragons from Black Desert. Just a little disclaimer though, at the time of this video, Drakania's Awakening has not yet been released in my region, so I don't know the lore from that yet. I'll probably make a part 2 when it comes out, and I'm really excited to see what they have in store for us. So, first, Markthanan, the Black Dragon. He was the leader of the dragons during the war between them and the Shirkan, trying to bring about what he called the Paradise of Dragons. Garmoth was one of the dragons that followed him, and he actually bestowed extra power to his followers through the use of black crystals. Garmoth would be mortally wounded and would take refuge among the Bloodwolves near the end of the war, and Markthanan would similarly be almost fatally wounded, and he would hide out in the Shirkan iron mine. So Markthanan, through the use of black crystals and telepathic whispering, influenced the High Priest of Drigan, Dayan, to aid in Garmoth's recovery and reemergence. However, Dayan, at some point, would become possessed by the Black Spirit of Origin, which would attempt to sacrifice Jordine, Lando, and the player character in order for them to possess Markthanan. The player obviously stops this from happening, and Markthanan is not only freed, but also grateful. If you're playing as Drakania during this part, you'll actually get special dialogue with Markthanan because Drakania is the only class that can speak and understand Draconic. The reason for that is Drakania is a dragon. We get to play as an actual dragon. So, yeah, Drakania. Drakania is one of Markthanan's daughters, specifically born of his eye. In the time before and during the war, Drakania would descend on the battlefield wielding her shard, a weapon she crafted from her own reverse scale, unleashing the rage of felled dragon upon her enemies. She would use her shard to bring peace to the spirits of her fellow deceased dragons, and also she would absorb their power into the shard. This process was called the Brimbolt ritual. So, to tell you the rest of this story, I kind of have to tell you a little bit of Libresca's story. Libresca, the Golden Dragon, gained much of her power from devouring the hearts of her fellow dragons. This betrayal of her own kind, and her theft of the Enix, would drive Markthanan and Drakania to seek vengeance. Markthanan actually tells us that we are the one responsible for Silverfawn never returning back to Libresca with the Enix, saying that we killed him with our shard on his way back to the Mountain of Eternal Winter. But at that time, unfortunately, Markthanan and Drakania were not able to obtain the Enix, and it was taken away by the Knights of Dawn. The Shirkan, with the help of the teachings of the 7 witches born from Libresca's first death, grew in power and slaughtered countless dragons. But the Shirkan would go beyond just trying to eradicate the dragons. They would also steal and sell dragon eggs, preventing future dragons from being born. At some point, Markthanan went into hiding, believing that none of his children were left alive. But Drakania survived. She escaped the Shirkan and hid away in the shadow of the Golden Mountain, tending to the souls of her fallen sisters. At some point during this time, it can be assumed that Drakania came into contact with her black spirit and lost her memories. Drakania meets Markthanan and Leon and is reminded of her past and how to perform the Brimbolt ritual, and her true purpose, which is to destroy the Enix and the descendant of Libresca, the traitor. Well, I hope you enjoyed this short story time about Drakania and Markthanan. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this, please let me know in the comments. Look out for part 2. You can hit that sub button if you want a notification when it comes out. So yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time here in the library.